Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from deep profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. He conquers the markets, he turns water into wine. His timing flows where chaos turns divine. Cut sharp enough to time the sign. Yeah, this man's no common trader. He commands the market's numbers. We call him Chef Bailey. The market bends beneath his flame. Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from deep profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. Markets move, they twist and swing. Every tick can burn or blink. Ryan keeps calm, he trusts his thing. The charts tell him everything. But when T1 makes ding, 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 the futures spread their hidden wing. And he is ready for anything. Vic's still looking like a restless king.
Ready to stop guessing and start growing as a trader. Welcome to Vici Trading Solutions, a community built by real traders for serious learners. We don't just post trades, we teach the why behind every move. With a full education section and daily breakdowns, you'll start seeing the market like a pro. You won't be trading alone. Inside the Vici Discord, you're surrounded by committed traders, from futures pros to rising crypto specialists, all learning and winning together. Gain first access to our exclusive indicators, powerful tools used daily by hundreds across TradingView and beyond. These aren't gimmicks, they're built to sharpen your edge. Each morning, our founder posts a full trading plan for the S&P 500 or NASDAQ and calls out the levels he's watching live. No fluff, just clarity. Education, tools, community. Whether you trade futures, stock, or crypto, Vici gives you the foundation and firepower to grow. Join Vici, trade smarter, conquer the markets.
And we are back. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Happy Monday. My little beret on today, my little oversized beret. One of those days, you know what I'm saying? So, my goodness, you guys know what this is, right? And no, it's not me trying to reach for boobies. This is squeezing. Man, they squeezed today crazy hard. Unbelievable squeeze right out of the gate. We gained Friday, just like we talked about in the weekend review, and then on the daily time frame, and there was no holding them back. Last night, they ended up holding some resistance right at our big major 75.63 level. That was our huge momentum shift pivot, as you guys know. We talked about it in the trade plan. We also talked about it in the weekend review in the video, and it truly was the big deciding factor today. Once they sat there all night and was able to pop their head over it, this thing absolutely did not stop all day. It was just another one of those, grindy up moves that seemed to just last all stinking day, because it did. Unbelievable. We had some guys in the room that were able to take advantage of this and actually hold on to this all day. Big shout out to Timmy. Nice work today, Timmy. You did a great job. We're going to talk about the scoreboard here in a little bit. Got to give a shout out to my crew who just absolutely crushed it. So, guys, thank you for joining me today. As usual, let's go ahead and get into the goodness here and go ahead to get to the trade plan. But first, make sure you follow me across all these socials. Ryan Bailey Edge across Substack, YouTube, TradingView, and X. You know what to do. Follow across all these. What's up, Sandra? Good to see you today. Always a pleasure. Today was quite an adventure, wasn't it? It took an extreme amount of patience not to FOMO in today. It was a little rough. So just from a patient standpoint. So guys, again, make sure that you follow me across all these socials because it is important. I'm always putting out good information on the social side, especially for the History Says post. Always great stuff. And so the next one, are you ready? Man, tell me this wasn't today. The buyers are getting exhausted. The buyers. My goodness, it made me laugh so hard. I thought of this meme when I saw the when I came back for the day and I saw the chart, I was like, these guys are not giving up. It was just too much fun. So yeah, just unbelievable stuff on the day today. Another ridiculous squeeze. And I don't know if anybody else realizes this. We are less than 20 points from all-time highs now. We are even closer really on SPX, which I'll soon show you. At the end, we're going to talk about the synopsis. We're going to talk about the big key things they did at the end of the day that signified that we are going to make a new all-time high, even though it's pretty damn close. I think it's obvious. But, with that being said, we'll talk about all the key indications that tell us what's up. And then, we're back in all-time high discovery mode. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The plan today, or not the plan, but the stream today, we're going to keep it a little brief. We may even talk a little bit about what the ES is doing, simply because all we did was go up all day. I mean, it's literally just a one shot to the highs here. So we're going to talk about the weekend review and some of the interesting stuff that we pulled out from here. So we had this big gap into resistance here. First and foremost, the 75.63 bullish trigger. This should be very familiar for all those who've been trading with me for more than a couple weeks. 75.60, 75.63 is what it shifted to last week, was our big bull bear trigger. That was this big previous weekly value area high up here, which we obviously pushed well above that. Okay. So, and then of course we had the VIX 1620 floor. That was our big floor. That was the break for us too. If we push below that, we could expect more up. And of course, you guys know we held that all day today. We were talking about in the Discord room. So let's go ahead and get into it. A gap into resistance and the two lines that define the week. Well, the two lines that define the week, one was here at 74.81, which we clearly didn't see. And the other one was way up here at 75.83. So let's go ahead and get into it. We come to the week, August 3rd, having gapped up hard into our major level of resistance. And the structural picture has generally shifted. First is the upside line. Per last week, we were bullish, basically above 75.60, right? Okay. And now that has shifted slightly to 75.63. I truly feel like above this area, we can continue to push much, much higher. This is still our big above below line. It is, it's not necessarily bearish below the line, but it is more that we are very bullish above. So we gapped straight into that resistance last night. And so this week is all about respecting the two lines and trading between them. That is the 75.63 and then this big guy down here, as usual, that we were talking about before at 74.81. Because this is a monster untested daily weekly combo also that we have at 75.96 that actually we pushed right through. And we're going to be looking to play that as support on the backside, which I'll show you when we get into that. So on to the next one. Are we ready? All right, the VIX. You guys know I love the VIX. Oh my God, what a tell sign for us today. If you thought at all that we were going to come down today, this is all that you had to look at was VIX. We opened below the 1620, we back tested it, and we pushed lower, okay? And this was the whole concept, essentially, in the weekend review, was the break of 1620. This was, as you guys know, the 1744 was our big level for us to be bullish below or bearish above. And now we are well below that. And we are actually beneath the 1620 floor at the time of the writing. We were right here. Then, of course, we popped up, right? So one of the reasons that, being underneath 1620 and ultimately below the 1744 is a big reason that we actually gapped up on Sunday. We have absolutely no fear in the market right now. It gave the indices a massive tailwind. As you saw today, they were able to kind of push this thing around as they had really no reason for fear, essentially, as we're pushing really close into the all-time highs. So ultimately, where am I looking to get to? I do still believe we can get down in here to the monthly at 14.95, or ultimately the daily at 15.03. As you can see right here, I do believe we can continue to come down here. So it's still anticipating that target, which means we have potentially more upside left in the indices as well. And guys, ultimately right here, you have to remember we are really bearish. Let me rephrase that. We're bearish. We are bullish on ES below 1744 monthly. And now we're below the 1620. It's like the next level of bullishness. Essentially, we have no fear in the market as we're coming down to this $14, $15 handle once again. Now, I'm not going to read this in here, but you guys know I have talked about the $14 or $15 handle so many times over the past year. And basically, this is, the spot where we start to get a little low on the VIX and we can anticipate a reaction. So I'm going to keep a really close eye on this level, as I think that this would be a good place to look for a potential, top, essentially, as you could say, or a small reversal in the indices. And obviously, I won't just be trying to short anywhere, but as VIX comes down into this level, I will certainly be looking for major profit taking as the longs continue in ES. So, all right, now for our next picture. Now, look at this thing. Look at this thing. This is SPX. I'm going to go ahead and hide me so that we can read this. And this is just crazy. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here about what happens if we move below and what happens if we move above. And as you guys know, all we did was open right here and then just jetty up all day. Basically, just totally, it's not all the stuff I wrote about the support below, at least right now, is totally irrelevant because they decided just to hit the gas on the way up. So what's up, Zug? What's up, Mon-Thu? Good to see you guys here. So let's go ahead and talk about this right here. The 75.15 is truly the big area for us, and this is one of the big leg downs. As you guys know, we've talked about this before, as this was the big major resistance once we moved above the 74.76 area and 74.47 spot. So this is our next big spot. And essentially, this is where everything flipped for me as far as being bullish, as you guys know. Because if you've been paying attention to this for even, a couple of weeks at this point, all of these levels should be very familiar. So we push above 75.15, and we basically shift momentum back to the upside. At that point, we are extremely cautious of shorts because it just might pull back into the daily and come right back higher. Well, what do you think here, guys? 75.15, and we basically shift momentum back to the upside. What do you think happened here? They literally just fucking launched this thing, and I would say momentum to the upside indeed, right? So here we go. So once we are above 75.37, which is this guy here, right? It is my belief that we will more than likely make a new all-time high. That was way down there, right? That was literally 70, let's see what here, 40 and 60, 70 points, right? So it is my belief that we'll make an all-time high. Is the only thing higher is the big weekly that has played at 75.80 right here. They could come up here and they could get a little head bump only to move higher into new all-time highs. And we did get a very, very small head bump. As you guys know, it played for about 9 points and then ended up progressing all the way higher to our 76.09, which was the highest daily, which I didn't even mark until earlier today because at this point, this thing's going to make a high. So it is what it is, right? It was a nice finishing touch up here to end the day, which we'll soon look at ES and figure out where the confluence was for this. But God bless. What an amazing call. I didn't even realize that I said that on Sunday, that if we were above 75.37, we can expect a new all-time high. That was pretty incredible. I actually wasn't around this morning to catch the opening long, and so I had to let the team carry the load for me, which was pretty awesome. So this was a picture that I took after the market opened. Now, as you guys can see, we have that 75.61. We have that 75.63. This is our big above-below area. You can even see how I drew above here, and I was just anticipating a reaction here at the 96.99 spot, and then ultimately above that, we continue to push. But below this, we could have came down and played support. So here's what the final thought says. And again, I trimmed it to eliminate basically all the context that talked about the stuff below because we never got there. So above, the picture is equally clean. Above 75.63, we are very bullish. And that opens the door to 75.96.99, which in my opinion was a huge monster. But I'll tell you what, they pushed through it today like it wasn't even there. So, that just shows you what crazy squeeze we had going on. And I'm going to show you what that actually looked like from an order flow perspective. I saw it just a minute ago, and it looks insane. So that was the highest untested time frame before we make all-time highs. And that is very much true. And they ended up pushing right above it like it wasn't even there, which was crazy. And we had a super solid close, which I'm going to show you above 76.28 today, which in my opinion was the leading indicator that we will make new all-time highs. That was pretty much the kiss for the whole thing today on ES. So let's go ahead and show you that. So first and foremost, this was the day today. As you guys can see, we based sideways all night long, but we held above our 75.53 and our 75.59, only to basically sit here with our 75.63. Only to sit here with the 75.63. This weekly value area high that we were bullish above, right? We were very bullish above this. So as you could see, once they started the day, they pulled back. They actually swept the overnight low just barely, and they actually missed yesterday's high Friday's high. I was very surprised. They basically just missed it. I figured it would get clipped. 9 times out of 10 it does, especially when you're not, that far away from it. And they missed it. Long story short, they came down, they swept the low, they got back above our dailies, and they took off above 63. And this thing just absolutely jetted. Unbelievable status today. We moved almost 100 points up today. Just unfucking believable. And this is a 10-minute chart. Look at this chart. I mean, they just did not let their foot off the gas. And look at this. These are large order bubbles. I'm going to show you what this looks like in the footprint. These are buyers and sellers going at it. Thousands of contracts, thousands, okay? And I'm not even joking. Wait till I show you. And it literally never skipped a beat. They just kept trucking along. And again, these are 10-minute bars. So, this is like an hour and 2 hours. And it was just a super slow grind, but it was just a squeeze to the upside. It was pretty intense. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. We had our 61 4-hour. That basically, we said this is the highest untested. We gapped into it essentially with a perfect touch last night at the Sunday Open, tested it. And so an acceptance through that puts the bullish trigger directly in play. Well, what's the bullish trigger? Well, the bullish trigger was 75.63. This was our big above below line. Last week we had 75.60. As you know, we shifted it to 60. Can't believe it. Just absolutely unbelievable squeeze today. These are 30-minute periods, guys. Look, we never had a 30-minute period get lower than the previous 30-minute period. Here, just a little bit, but either way, in order to stop one time framing, you have to get lower than 2 periods, and they never did that. They continued to squeeze up all the way to the highs. Just freaking unbelievable day. I just noticed that looking at this right now. So kind of interesting stuff there. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the next one. So this is what I wanted to show you guys from an order flow perspective, guys. And I know that we don't really rely a lot on order flow with our process, but of course I do look at it. And I just wanted to show you guys, all this pink is massive selling, okay? This is my third standard deviation selling. So this means guys are hitting the market with this is at least 400 delta in that direction. But look, every time you see pink, well, green is the most buying and pink is the most selling. Everywhere you see pink, you see these massive large orders. These are large orders. These are a buyer coming in 500 at a time, 500 at a time, 179 at a time, 300 at a time. And so whoever is selling into all this was literally just getting gobbled up all the way up. They were letting this guys, look at this, 2,200 contracts to the downside, 900 contracts, 400, 1,000, 500. Somebody got really aggressive selling right here, and they got their ass beat because somebody, obviously, as you can tell, the market continued to go up, soaked all this up and continued to push it to the upside. And the sellers didn't stop. They continued going the whole entire day, and they just kept getting gobbled up by the buyers. It's just unbelievable. You can even see up here we had these large order bubbles that were red and not green. I mean, these guys are smacking 400 or 500 cars at a whack, and they're not getting any love. The market was just soaking them up. Unbelievable status. And what's interesting is, and again, not to talk about insider trading or anything, but because he's letting the whole world know, but Trump did just tell everybody last week, hey, make sure you buy stocks. Lo and behold, literally, I don't know if you guys realize this, we'll look at it, but we are up over 300 points in the past 3 days. 300 in 3 days. Unbelievable push. Can't believe it myself. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that here shortly. Actually, this is exactly what we're going to look at. So here is the final of SPX. As you guys can see, this was literally last week. This was just 3 days ago right here. This was Thursday. Was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday. Let's see, Monday. Hang on. The Monday, Friday, Wednesday, Tuesday. Excuse me. This was Tuesday of last week. We came down here. We played this daily. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or I guess it was Wednesday. So anyways, long story short, 3 days, we basically popped all the way up, and we are almost back at an all-time high. It's insane how much we've moved. 300 points, we were at this low. We closed at the lows, and literally 3 days later, we find ourselves literally 20 points from all-time high. It is amazing how fast things can change. You just don't know the power of the orange man. The orange man makes it happen. And here we are again, absolutely phenomenal stuff. So close. And here was our takeoff today. This is where we opened. Like we said earlier in the plan, we are very much bullish above 75.15. I think that was represented well as we pushed above everything. And as you guys know, I was calling for new highs once we got above 75.37. And now we are almost at new all-time highs indeed. So fantastic call. Plan's playing great. Everything's good. Phenomenal. Great, and wonderful. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at ES, right? Because this is important. And this is what I want you guys to see. So this is when I told you that I was getting some indications that we were going to make a new all-time high. And I know you're probably like, of course, Ryan, 20 points from all-time highs. Good guess, right? Yes and no. I mean, shit happens, right? Like we've gotten close before and they've pulled back. But my process tells me, based on today's close, we've had a solid close above 76.28. This is my highest untested leg down here. So a solid close above that gives me what's called a step one gain, which essentially seals the deal for us, or at least puts in a very high probability to make a new all-time high above 76.48. So at this point, we're talking about 17 points, but that new all-time high certainly looks like it's in sight. Now, I will say this. What happens? Are they just going to squeeze the new all-time highs? Shit, I don't know. It's hard to say, right? But what I do know is that if looking at support right now, this level that we used this morning, that we sat at all night, we used it for support. We basically wiped this level on the 4-hour and 1-hour time frames. We have nothing else left here to play. So even if price was to come back down here, I would not be interested in buying. I would need it to come all the way back down into one of these three areas. But more importantly, if we want to continue this momentum up, we could potentially pull back into the 75.96 area, which is the same spot that I was intending the reaction from on the bottom side, which did not happen. But I do, I have this philosophy, and I teach all my students, and it's in the course. For those of you who know, we have something called trade the failure, which basically means that if one of our levels doesn't work on one side, there's a very high probability we play it for the other on the other side. And since we're bullish and we weren't bearish, right? So let's just get this right. As you guys know, we came into the day. I even said in the weekend review, we are now pointed to the upside. We've gained on the daily time frame. We have no reason to look for shorts. So as we came into here, I did expect the 96 to get a reaction, and it didn't really pay much, about 5 or 7 points. But I expected it to get a real reaction. But the reason why I'm not too desperately upset that it didn't is because we are up now once again on all time frames. We're up on the daily, we're up on the 4-hour, the 1-hour. And so we weren't really looking for shorts. I have to be honest. We were up on all the time frames. Why would I short a daily time frame if I'm actually looking to go higher because we're bullish? So with that being said, now that we have pushed through it and closed above it, this is very much some solid support for us to play. We actually have today's ETH VWAP here as well. And so this is actually value right now based on today moving forward. So very interesting. If we pull back, we want to see 75, 96, 99 play. And it was funny, we were talking about this in the room today. For those of the people that have been in the room for a couple of weeks, they remember playing this area with me. We talked about it. It was a fucking nightmare. We smacked from it from here, and then we came down, and we came back, and we flirted with it. We popped above it a couple of times, but ultimately it acted as resistance. So now that we're back above it, everybody remembers this spot. Now we'll be looking to play it for support, because if it doesn't hold, we basically come way down, because this area is played, and we don't have anything else smaller. We didn't create any new support on this leg up. This is the spot. There's the VWAP, right? During this push up, what could they have possibly made? There's no support here. They never, you don't make support in straight moves, right? And so this either plays or we come much, much lower and down here and play some of this stuff here. So with that being said, if we do get a pullback, we're going to be eyeing the 96, 99 for the long to take us back to all-time highs. And ultimately, really what it comes down to is this big daily close above the 76.28 kind of leads me to believe that this is absolutely going to happen, at least a very high probability. Nothing's for sure, but I'm leaning that direction. And really it is just about figuring out where we're going to buy into this and hold on to it to take us up past the 76.48. So with that being said, not too bad of a daily trade plan review here today for the post-market breakdown. We had a straight moonshot today, and only one of our levels, which it worked, played for support. And now we flipped the script on Friday. So now we're looking for longs, no more shorting. And I've given you the only one level I have to buy. And then obviously 76.28 is going to be our big above below. And I'm sure I can probably fish some support out of here around 76.20 for you guys tomorrow for the plan. So I will figure that out tomorrow. And then, of course, tomorrow we're going to do it all over again. Oh, yeah, let me do this real fast. I forgot. I got to give my peeps in the room. You guys know everybody has to earn. All these guys, they deserve their credit. I got to give them what they earned today. So check it out. Look at my man Sheezel with his $9,600 on his funded account today. Very nice job. Aggie Sakura, there you go, with her 2 funded accounts here. Awesome. Great job from Apex. Look at Timmy today. Holy cow, Timmy. Timmy held this all the way today. Look at this. 9:48 in the morning to 3:50 in the afternoon. He held this thing all stinking day. Look at Tim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 accounts. Let me tell you a story about Tim. When I met Tim came to me and said, Ryan, I've been trading for years. I never passed an eval. I need help. He's like, I've been doing this a long time. I've been spinning my wheels. I can't pass an eval. I can't get funded. I need help. Literally, and I'm not bullshitting you, he came in my room. He bought the course. In a month or less, he passed his first eval. Now this guy's trading 7 of them, getting paid. This guy is an absolute monster. I got nothing respect for him. And of course, I got to give myself a little credit, right? He hasn't been doing it for years. He comes in here, give him a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Now he's just crushing it. Good job, Timmy. I fucking love you. Way to work it today. And then, of course, my boy Zoog. Zoog's been on vacation. Zoog comes back, shitting on everybody. 821 points with M&Q. Nice job, Zoog. Always love the way you hold it and crush it. You guys are amazing at holding, and I absolutely love it. You guys are really you guys propped up the team 100% today. Thank you guys for representing. Couldn't appreciate it more. So with that being said, y'all, thank you so much for joining me. Tomorrow is going to be a fantastic plan. We're right here. We're on the cusp of making all-time highs. VIX is low. We've only got a little bit of support. It's going to be a very interesting day tomorrow. And before I tune off, let me just look. Do we have any red tag news tomorrow? Let me see. We do not. We have jobs opening at 10 o'clock. So it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. We don't really have the volatility to kick us up higher, but hey, Trump's on the microphone. He seems to make magic happen. So we'll see what's up. So with that being said, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and tomorrow we conquer the markets. I'll see you guys soon. Cheers and have a great night.